Welcome everybody to the week of Parshas Devarim, the 9 days, the summer learning program. Baruch Hashem, this is our 4th week of getting together during the summer to Shiurim and the Chavrusis and the Torah. We want to thank our sponsors for the week. This week we are sponsored by Levi and Chaya Egg House and their company Sparkles and Gift. We want to wish them much bracha and atzlacha for everything that they do. And if anybody else wants to sponsor, we still have sponsorships available. Bez Hashem, we plan on going for at least another 2 weeks after this one. And if David helps us, maybe even invite her than that. Today, in addition to the fact that it's the summer and it's the 9 days, we are also added with an added simcha and a Tosfos bracha with the Siyum Rambam Hailami. Today, worldwide Jewry is celebrating the completion of the Rambam, and we have with us very special Magid Shiurim who will give us fascinating shiurs in the Rambam. So I'd like to wish everybody L'chaim. We're going to take a sip of L'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu shakol b'dvarim. L'chaim to all of us for completing the Rambam, and may we continue in this achdus of Limud HaTorah, l'chol rachmei tevel. And without further ado, I'd like to also thank the Menachem of the Beis Medrash, Rabbi Chaim for giving us the space to utilize the Beis Medrash, and Yisrael Noach Plank for all his help in arranging the Shiurim. Without further ado, Rabbi Chaim Yisroel Wilhelm, Menachem Ol Torah. Chaim.
A good Yom Tiv. Today is a Yom Tiv as it's we're finishing the whole Rambam. It's like Simchas Torah. We finished the whole Torah. Simchas Torah we finished B'chsav, and now we finished the Rambam, which is the Torah Shebal Peh. A very special day, and in honor of today's day, I'll be speaking about the end of the Rambam. I'd like to give a Yasher Koyach Rabbi Shneir for arranging every single week the program. He was thanking everybody that made it happen. Thank you, Rabbi Shneir, Shakoyach. We have a lot of success. There was a state in today's Hayav Yoim, and that Yomim says that all the brachas we get from following, say, davening and learning and continuing our avodah for Frum Yid, L'chaim, Natzlochen, and Zerunumach, L'chaim. There's a paper going around, which on it has the last Perek, the second to last Perek of the Rambam. I'll start by saying, as a bacher in yeshiva in Bnei Brak, I was a shliach in the yeshiva, and I had this interesting minhag to make sure that I learn Rambam at a shul nearby. In order of Afatzas HaMayonis, so during my break time and Israel, the lunch break is a bigger break than over here. I can't remember if it was an hour and 3/4, hour and a half, close to 2 hours of a break in the middle of the day. So I'd go to a shul nearby, and as I'm going to the shul nearby, I would overhear conversations, and I have a conversation with the chevra. It was a Chassidish shul, and in Yiddish they were speaking to each other, discussing, is there going to be goyim when Mashiach comes? And one Yid says, there's not going to be goyim when Mashiach comes, we're not going to have any more goyim. And the other Chassid, the other one was saying, what do you mean? There's going to be Chasidei Umas Ha'olam. And they're going back and forth. And someone says, there's no Chasidei Umas Ha'olam. This is in Bnei Brak. I don't know which goyim they knew to be Chasidei Umas Ha'olam. The other one says, there's no Chasidei Umas Ha'olam. And the guy says back, what do you mean? There's President Bush. And at the time it was President Bush. He says, it was back and forth. It was an interesting conversation for me to hear. So I was learning Rambam, and I went over to them where they were schmoozing, where they're discussing this. And I said, it's interesting you're discussing if there's going to be Chassidim Masa'olam, there's going to be Goyim. I said, let me show you the Rambam. And the Rambam, in the very end of Rambam, in Hilchos Melachim discusses what does it take to be from the Chassidim Masa'olam. He discusses few days ago, what does it mean to keep Sheva Mitzvahs B'nai Noach? He discusses all those inyanim. And I showed them a beautiful Rambam. And their excitement was, wow, as ein interessante Rambam. Because it's not the regular Rambams that we learn in yeshiva. You know, it's not Hilchos Shabbos, and it's not Nashim Ugerishin, it's not the regular Prakim. So it was like an interesting Rambam. Now, because I was so close to the end of the Rambam, I couldn't not show him the last two Prakim of Rambam. I was like holding Perek Vav and Zayin, so I said, "Will send Nacha Interessante Rambam? I want to show you Nacha Interessante Rambam." And I turned to Perek Yud Aleph, which is the paper that you have in front of you. I turned to Perek Yud Aleph, and I learned with him the first few halachas. So he learned the first halacha about, which we'll read in shortly. You read the second halacha about Arei Miklat. He reads the third halacha about Ben Kuziba, and he reads the fourth halacha, and he says, it says like this in the fourth halacha. The fourth halacha it says, which we'll be reading shortly, all it says is that if there's going to be Yamid Melech Beis David Hoige B'Torah V'Isik Mitzvos K'David Aviv Harei Zeh B'Cheskas Shuhu Mashiach. Those are the words. That's the words of the Rambam. I'm showing it to him. He's like, wow, Azan Interessante Rambam. So without a second notice, he blurs out. He says, der Vater Lubavitch is going to the Rebbe's Mashiach. I was like, Rambam. He's learning the Rambam. I said, this is a Rambam. It's clear Rambam. You learn Rambam. He came to the Maskana. Yamid Melech, Choyge B'Torah, Isaac Mitzvahs, Kedavid Aviv, and he's Mechazik Yiddishkeit. So he learns it, and he came to the Maskana about what's the specialty of Mashiach and what's the Geder. So as I felt important to discuss this Rambam, obviously I had a conversation further. I spoke to him about his Rebbe, and he obviously told me that we hold of our Rebbe, but not that much to say that Mashiach. So this is something that we could connect with today's Rambam. I feel it's important. It's a Siyum with the Rambam. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be learning a halacha, asking a couple of questions. And then I'll be learning a set. There's 4 halachas here in this Perek. And we're going to, if you see on the paper, I have the first halacha, the first 4 paragraphs is a halacha. It's all halacha aleph. Then I wrote 6 questions. And on the second page, you can see there's a halacha, and then I wrote the questions, 3 questions. Like this, I'll be able to go through it, and I'll be able to give you one answer that's going to answer all these questions. Because all these questions throughout the Perek is questions in the Yukim on these halachas, and if we're going to understand the Rambam in a certain angle, understanding that will give us clarity in all these questions that we're going to bring up. The Rambam starts and says, HaMelech HaMashiach Asad Lamed Lahachzir Malchus David Liyashna Lememshala HaRishayna. He's going to come to return the kingdom of David to its old days, to when he was a kingship back in the day. He's going to build a Mikdash. He's going to gather the Jewish people. All of the laws are going to return like it was back in the day, which is, he gives some examples. Makrivim karbonis. We'll be bringing karbonis when Mashiach comes. Shemitah, the 7th year. V'yoyvos, the 50th year. Like every mitzvah that was given in the Torah we'll be doing. And the Rambam says, if we don't wait to him, we don't believe in him, we don't wait his coming. So this is our first part of Rambam. Not only are we not accepting, not only are all the other Nevi'im that spoke about Mashiach's coming, Yeshaya Navi and all the Nevi'im that spoke about it, rather it's speaking about Moshe Rabbeinu. Now, in order for the Rambam to prove, he needs to prove in the Pasuk in Torah that the Torah says clearly that Mashiach is going to come in order for him to say this statement. He said the statement now, the Rambam said, that we must believe in Mashiach because that's what it says in the Torah. And that's part of Moshe Rabbeinu, this is Torah's Moshe. Where is this Pasuk that says Mashiach is coming? And we know these Pasukim, it's very important us to have it on our fingers, that the Rambam is going to be giving us not just 1 proof, not just 2 proofs, rather 3 proofs, 3 rayas from different places in the Torah. Clearly the Mashiach is coming. The first proof, he says, in the second paragraph on your page, the Torah gave witness, as it says, Hashem is going to return the captives. He's going to gather us. Even if you're going to be far away. And the paragraph finishes, all the things that are mentioned throughout the Nevi'im. This was our first raya of the Rambam. The Rambam brings one more raya in his third paragraph, and he says, interestingly, I have another raya. If you open up Parshas Bilam, we read it a few weeks ago in Parshas Balak, that is, he calls it Parshas Bilam. Nemar v'sham niba b'shnei Mashiachim, and he says a prophecy about two Mashiachs, two anointed people that helped the Jewish people. Shehu David, well, first one was Harishon, was David, which helped the Jewish people in the time of Tzareim. And Mashiach ha'acharon, Shoim mibonav sh'Mashiach Yisroel, the last Mashiach, which is going to be from his children, it's going to help the Jewish people in the end. Those are the two rayas that he speaks. The next paragraph, you could read it, this basically goes through all the psukim. The raya exactly that we know Mashiach, which one's Mashiach, which is not. So now I want to go to the questions that you have on the bottom of the first page. And let's try to understand a few diyukim in this Rambam. Our first question is, Mashiach's going to come, he's going to save the Yid, and he's going to help us. What do you mean lahachzir? What to bring back? Why bring back? What is the Rambam diyuk? Menachem lahachzir, to return. What do we need to return? Let us, we'll all go to Eretz Yisrael, and we'll start the new. We'll have a new Kohen, and he'll take care of us. He'll take whatever's needed. What's the nekuda lahachzir? And our second is, if you want to return and go back to some time and era that was, you want to go back to a certain era and time in Jewish people, and that's what we want to return to. So why does he say to the kingship of David? There's something with David. The pasuk says, the Rambam says, I want to return. I want to return to the times of David HaMelech. Why David? A third question, I have a gimel. The Rambam gives a few mitzvahs, and he detailed mitzvahs of things that are going to return in the times. We'll have karbonis, shmita, and yovel. Why these? Why is he bringing about these? Why is he bringing these mitzvahs? Is this what these mitzvahs dafke?
Shmita we still have today also.
Right, we're going to do it completely. We'll do it completely according to all the shittas, as it will be in Eretz Yisrael. Even though now there's many Yidden that still do it, and they have to, they have all the halachas about it. But all Yidden will be together, right? My question 4: why do you need two rayas, two proofs that Mashiach is coming? We all know that when you have two, there's obviously something's wrong with the first, then you need the second. Something's wrong with the second, then you need the first. What? You have a Shav Hashem Elokecha Shvuscha, Hashem is going to return the captives, and they're going to bring them together. No, clear pasuk in Parshas Nitzavim. What does it mean? What do you need the second pasuk about Parshas Bilam? That he sees the Savior Asherenu V'Loikore. What is that needed over here? 5. The fifth question I write: why is it Negeya that the first Mashiach, the first anointed, was David? It's very interesting. When the Rambam brings two, he says there's two Mashiachs in Parshas Bilam. Why are we speaking about Mashiach Harishon? We're talking about Mashiach. We're going to have Mashiach. Mashiach's going to come. He's going to take us. So let us just say the last part. Ashurenu, not Arenu about David HaMelech, rather just about. And which that leads us into the sixth question. What's the connection of the two Mashiachs? First Mashiach, which is David, and the last Mashiach, which is Menachem Mashiach. Seems like there's like a connection that's reaching from David to Mashiach. What's the Geya, the first and the last? What's the Geya? One's called Rishon, and one's called Acharei. One's called the first Mashiach, and one's called the last Mashiach. So with that, we just learned the Halach of Rambam. The Halach of Rambam told us that we have to believe in Mashiach, and he gave us two rayas. And those two rayas was Parshas Nitzav and Parshas Bilam. We asked a couple of questions. What's the diyukim of lahachzir, of David, and the two rayas necessary? I'll answer the questions after we finish learning these four halachas. We're going to put something down very important that's going to make all these questions clear. Halacha Beis. This is the third raya that Mashiach is coming. The third proof in the Torah. Af ba'arei miklat. Also by the midst of Arei Miklat, when Hashem is going to widen your boundaries, we're going to have more land, Keni, Knisi, Kadmoini, the other side of the land which we never conquered yet, which was promised to Avram Avinu, and we're going to have 3 more cities of refuge of the Arei Miklat, which is a discussion itself why we need it, not for now. But we're going to have 3 more cities, as the pasuk says. We're going to need to add more cities. It never occurred. It never occurred that we had 3 extra cities. We never had altogether 9 cities. It never happened. Hashem didn't command something for nothing. That's not going to happen. So it must be the time is going to happen. When is that going to happen? When Mashiach comes. Is the Charayah, Mashiach is going to come. And we're going to have more land. We're going to have to set aside more cities of refuge, 3 more Arei Miklat. That's Charayah. This is his 3rd proof that Mashiach has to come. Because it didn't happen yet. And the Rambam finishes, B'divrei Nevi'im, you don't need a Raya because all the Sfarim are completed. So I'll ask over here 3 questions. Question Zayin, right after this halacha, question Zayin is, what do we learn from Arei Miklat that I don't have from the first 2 Rayas? You're telling me, I asked the question, why do you need Raya 1? And why do you need Raya 2? So now the question is, why do you need Raya 3? What is Arei Miklat adding to me? Ches, the next question, why is this halacha, why is this Raya in its own halacha? If halacha Aleph joined two Rayas together, that means both Rayas fit into one halacha, the Mashiach has to come, so put the 3rd one also in. 3 Rayas the Mashiach is coming. Why 2? Why is this one separately? And if this one has to be separately, so then the Raya number 2, halacha Aleph, which was a big halacha, maybe we should split it also. That also should be a separate halacha. Why is that in one halacha and this separately? And a 3rd question, Shaila Tess. What's the deal of Arei Miklat? It doesn't say the Parsha's name. There's no Parsha called Arei Miklat. The beginning of halacha Beis, it says Af ba'Arei Miklat. There's no pasuk. I'm sorry, there's no Parsha called Arei Miklat. It's also by Arei Miklat. It's the mitzvah of Arei Miklat. Why does it say also by Arei Miklat? Not in Parsha. Let him tell us. Why is it necessary to secret that also in Arei Miklat? What's that deal over there? And halacha Gimel. Halacha Gimel is going to say, Al Yala Al Daitcha Shal Melech HaMashiach is going to make Oisis U'Mayvsim, Chadish Dvarim Ba'olam, he's going to make new miracles, or Mechayemesim, or it's going to be Okiyetze Dvarim Elo. It's not so because Rabbi Akiva was a great Chacham and a wise man. Menachem Mishnah Hoya, and he was the one that was be serving Ben Kuziba HaMelech, and he said about him, Shuhu HaMelech HaMashiach. And Rabbi Akiva and all the Chachamim of his generation thought that he's Melech HaMashiach until he was killed with the sins that he had, and then they realized, okay, he can't be Mashiach. He's not possible. No one asked him to give us a miracle or a sign. That means Mashiach doesn't need to make signs or miracles because they believed in him that he's Mashiach. And they didn't ask him ever to say a witness, to say, and this is Rabbi Akiva, and this is the Chachmei Dor Rabbi Akiva. So the Rambam brings from here, we don't have to make, Mashiach doesn't have to make new Chidush. And the Rambam finishes, V'ikar advarim kochaheim, the Torah doesn't change, we don't add, we don't take off, and anyone that Moisef or Gil upon a Torah, he takes it out of its proper stances, then he's a Vada, and he's a Rosh of Apikoides, he can't take change Torah. So here we're going to ask 2 questions. The 2 questions of this halacha is, what does the Rambam add in that 2nd paragraph? That the Torah is here forever. What's the negir? Tell me that Mashiach doesn't have to make miracles because of Rabbi Akiva. I know it. I got it. The 1st paragraph is enough. What's that 2nd paragraph? The Torah doesn't change. What is it necessary? And your Aleph, what is that connected to Ben Kuziba? Why is that? I need that to know Ben Kuziba. Our final halacha, if Melech mi Beis David is going to stand up, this is the halacha that we should know by heart. How give a Torah, Reisik mitzvahs, ki David Aviv, and he learns Torah Shebach Sav and he learns Torah Shebach Peh. The Yaakov Kol Yisrael, and he has a way of persuading Jewish people to go in the ways of Torah. And he fixes the cracks of Chazik Bidka, and he fights the wars of Hashem. This is Becheskas Shu Mashiach. If he was successful, he's Asav, he's Tzliach, and he built the Mikdash Koime, and he gathers Nitcha Yisrael, he's Mashiach Bevadai, and he's going to prepare the world to serve the Ebershter, like it says, Ki Oz Efech Al Amim Sachav Rudo Rigi Kulam B'Shem Hashem Lav D'Shechem Nechel. And on this, I'll ask 3 questions. What's the Negea Kedavid of again, the Diuk Kedavid? Why doesn't this halacha say that if he's talking about Mashiach, talk to me and tell me Mashiach, by the way, is going to be a great wise man? Doesn't say he's a wise man. Do you know that elsewhere the Rambam says that he's going to be smart like Shlomo HaMelech, and he's going to be a Navi close to Moshe Rabbeinu? Why doesn't he mention that over here? He just says he's going to learn Torah, he'll be diligent, he's going to have a Yagiyah, a Smada, okay? And why is he mentioning Bana Mikdash B'Koyim and V'Kibbutz Nidchei Yisrael? And this is a bunch of questions that I put together over here based on a Sikh of the Rebbe about this discussion. Why these four halachas? What's all these diyukim? And I'm going to be able to put down now and tell you a very special, important nekuda that's going to help us to understand the whole Rambam. But to explain that, I'll say a short story. I was going to Mivtzoyim. I was in Washington, D.C. This is Tafshin Samach Aleph. At the time, if I'm correct, there was a big Hafganah, there was a big rally and demonstration in front of the Capitol. At the time, it was about Eretz Yisrael, and they asked the Yeshiva Bachim to go, and it was just a good time to go Mivtzoyim, of course, and we were there, and together we were able to get a lot of Yidden to put on tefillin. And I was going around to Mivtzoyim, and as I'm going around to Mivtzoyim, so there's a Litvish Yid, a Bachar, and he was listening in that at the end of me putting on tefillin, he finished up by saying, "We want Mashiach now." So he was listening. We said Shema. He said Ach Tzadikah, and we said, "We want Mashiach now." So he was intrigued to be able to follow what we're doing. You know, but maybe he wanted to do it also. I said, "Here, come help me out. Get some Yidden. Let's go wrap up." And he asked me, "Why do we finish up by saying we want Mashiach now?" So I was like, "We're waiting finally to come. Time Mashiach's going to come. We're doing an extra mitzvah, every mitzvah to bring Mashiach." He's like, "Why don't you kach in other zachen? Like, why don't you kach?" He said, I said, "What do you want me to kach in? Tell me, what do you think the right thing is to kach?" So he's like, "Why don't you kach in taryag? Why don't you just kach in taryag?" Those are his words. Kach in taryag mitzvahs. So I was going with my chavrus, his name is Yossi Sobel. And right away he says, "Do you know that we don't have taryag now? We want a kach in taryag. The kach in taryag is, when we want Mashiach now, we'll have taryag. Then we'll have 613. We don't have that right now. We have a lot less. As we'll see shortly, we don't have the Shemitah, the Yovel, the Karbonis, and all the Zachen. Many mitzvahs, almost more than what we have." So he's like, "Wow." He said, "Why don't you kach in taryag?" And I was like, "Right, this is it. We want Mashiach now because we kach in taryag." And he was like, and then my Chavrusa says to him, "By the way, who's kach in taryag now? Who's going around putting on tefillin? It's part of taryag right now, what we can do." And he really caught what's going on. And I felt that story really hit home. And I say that story to all of us tonight because that's going to help me for the Sikha. Because this Perek of Rambam, the Rambam is telling us that we know that when Mashiach comes, there's going to be Kol HaMa'adanim, Mitzuyin Ka'afer, and the sweets, and everything's going to be around. But that's going to be secondary. The main thing is, Mashiach's going to come, we're going to be completed with the Taryag mitzvahs that we had. Wait, when did we have Taryag? When was the time that we had Taryag? So, who was the one that prepared? And he finished fighting all the Goyim in Eretz Yisrael to finally have Karbonis, to finally build the Beis HaMikdash. It was finally prepared in the times of David HaMelech. And being that it was prepared finally in the times of David HaMelech, when are we now? Mashiach's going to come, Mitzvah Shalom Amen, tonight. And we're going to get back, we're going to have the status, we're going to have Taryag mitzvahs. When was that time in history? Was the event? Was David. Was the times of David, where he prepared the Beis HaMikdash to be built properly and have Shemitah V'Yovel. And we know that when all Yidden are in Eretz Yisrael, finally when all the Goyim are allowed, all Yidden are allowed to Masam, that's when Yovel. Yovel has to be when all Jewish people are in the land. And with that, the Rambam uses the terms, I'm going to go through the questions just to answer the questions. The Rambam uses the word lahachsa, to return. We're going to David. We're going to have Karbonis, Shemitah, and Yovel, which are the main inyanim in Yiddishkeit, those things that we didn't, that bring us so many mitzvahs. Wait, Why 2 mitzvahs? Well, I'm sorry, why 2 rayas? We have 2 rayas. Why do we need 2 rayas? Let's get this fast. Why do we need 2 rayas? The first raya tells us there'll be a time that we'll be gathered together. We'll be gathered. Is there a person? Doesn't say a person is going to gather. So the first raya is a raya will be an era. It's like, there's something called the Yana Geula Mashiach. Mashiach is the person, Geula is the time. So the first raya is Geula, there'll be a time of Geula. Who's going to be the Mashiach? The first raya doesn't say. The second raya, which is Parshas Bilam, tells us there'll be a time, there'll be a person. It's going to be a Mashiach, it's going to be a person that's going to help us out. And that's why we need 2 rayas. The second raya telling us this Mashiach. You need the era, this Geula. We're going to have a time that we're going to be gathered. Who? Second raya tells us Mashiach. Now, this answers our question number Hey and Vav, which tell us why do you need Mashiach Rishon and the first and the last? Because we're completing what we had. We're finishing up. We're back in that same track. We got back off. We off track, get back on track. Mashiach Rishon is the first David Melech, not just because he was our first king, and not just as our savior. Rather, he was the one that completed to be able to get Taryag Mitzvahs. Wait, what about Arei Miklat? How did that fall in? That never happened. What does that fall in? The Rambam says, wait, I can't put it in the same halacha. Arei Miklat, they had Taryag. Because they had 6 Arei Miklat. So, what's Arei Miklat that I'm putting it in a separate halacha. Not only that I'm putting it in a separate halacha, what's the Rambam teaching me? The Rambam is teaching me that Arei Miklat, that to believe the Mashiach is coming is a mitzvah, and we see it in a mitzvah, in an actual mitzvah. Not only that we're going to get back Taryag, but we're going to add. What do you mean we're going to add? There'll be one mitzvah that will get 3 new cities that never happened. And if you want to say this, maybe we could say, in a certain way, that when Mashiach comes, we'll realize that we had Taryag, or really we had 612.6. 612.6. When is the shleimus of that mitzvah, the completion of one mitzvah? Now obviously when we had 6 cities, that's what the Eibush promised, that's the way Eibush got. That was our mitzvah of Taryag. But in a certain aspect, that mitzvah was never fully completed, and when is it going to be completed? Mashiach comes, and that's what the Rambam puts it in a separate halacha. It's not in the same. There's a mitzvah that's going to be added. Not just we're getting back those mitzvahs, we're actually opening up a new mitzvah that never happened. That's what's in another halacha. And that's why it says Ba'arei Miklat, not a parsha. Arei Miklat, that's a mitzvah. And that's why the Rambam says that these Chukei Mishpatel La'olam is forever. Nothing's going to change. It's nothing changing. Torah is not changing. We're getting Taryag mitzvahs properly, and that's Negea. That's why he says that right after Ben Koziba to tell us it's speaking about back to the mitzvahs. And the last 3 questions over there, it's Negea Kedavid Aviv. It's not Negea that he's a Chacham. It's not Negea that he's a Navi. Of course he'll be a Chacham. Of course he's a Navi. It's now it's Negei over here in this Perek teach us about Mashiach's completely getting back to Taryag mitzvahs. And that's why it says Mikdash, he gathers Chaim Yisroel. When we get all that, we'll be able to get all our mitzvahs back together, and we'll be back. And so we have all that Nukuda to know that the shleimus of Torah and mitzvahs, this story that I said earlier, Taryag mitzvahs, Kachin Taryag. Why don't you Kachin Taryag? What the dust is Kachin Taryag. That's what you can Kachin Taryag. So I was asked to make a Siyum because tonight we're making a Siyum in the whole Rambam. And it's a very special day, and it's a Yom Tov today. And I feel important to say that our generation, the Rebbe said Basi Lagani. And the Vart, I don't know who's the source of this Vart, the Makar of this Vart, but Basi Lagani, you could is a Rosh Tevis. And it teaches us to make sure to keep our Iskashas. Basi Lagani is the time of Iskashas of the year. We say Basi Lagani every year. Beis is Bereshis for Chumash. Aleph is Ashrei Ha'ish for Tehillim every day. Tough is for Tanya. We say Perek Gimel Danida to learn Tanya every day. Yud is in the past since the Rebbe started in Tafshim Mandal. The Yisoid, HaYisoidos, the Amud HaChachmos, which is the Nukuda of learning Rambam. So Basi Lagani, to have the Iskasha of the Rebbe is to learn the Rambam. And this past Shabbos, Tafshim Lamed Vav or Lamed Zayin, the Rebbe said a story. And the Rebbe's story was, the Rebbe said there's a chassid that he davened b'avodah, and at the end of davening, it was in Russia. And when he finished davening, when the minyan finished, he was only holding Ashrei, Volatzir. He wasn't, so he had a chance. He had a choice. Either I say Ashrei Volatzir, or I say Tehillim, because the Friedrich Rebbe's Takana was then a Nuzach to say Tehillim based on the Friedrich Rebbe's Takana. So he wasn't sure, because he had to go to work. He wasn't sure what he's going to do. He said, Ashrei Volatzir, he'll say later in the day. But what's he going to say now, in Shul, with the minyan? So he said to himself, and the Rebbe said, Ashrei Volatzir, Mehechetesi. But Tehillim is the Takana from the Rebbe. And obviously later on in the day he got a chance. I'm not telling you to be light on Ashrei Volatzir. But the Nukuda is that we have a Takana of the Rebbe. We should take Chizuk on today's day, on today's Siyum. And with that we're going to be Messiah the Rambam, state the last halacha Rambam, Lo Yisei Azman, Lo Yiyah Shem Lo Yirah, Lo Milchama, there won't be any hunger, there won't be any war. Like Kina V'Sachris, there won't be jealousy, there won't be any competition. Shatoy V'Tiyah Mishpas Harbei, V'Cholam Adana V'Tziyin Ka'afar, all the sweets will be around. Lo Yiyah Ezik Kol Ha'olam. The whole world will be busy. The whole world means not just Yidden, by the way. Also L'Havul Goyim. Everyone will be busy. Ela L'Das Hashem L'Vad, only to know the Eibishter. U'Lefichach Yiyu. On their fire Yisroel, Chachamim Gedolim, Yidden will be very smart, intelligent, Yidden Bar Mastumim, and will know the hidden secrets. V'Yasiku Da'as Beiren Kvikach Adam Shenemar, Malach Haras Deis Hashem, Kamayim L'Yam V'Chasim, Nishmul Hilchos Melachim, V'Chibur Kulei Baruch Shalom V'Yodim V'Tachoi. Chaim Yisroel Wilhelm. Om Allah Yes Hashem Kamayim L'Yam V'Chasim, Om Allah